Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to Beat the Book. As always, I'm one of your wonderful hosts on this show, MattyBets, joined in part, pretty big part by my co-host over here,
BigAL Bettor. How you guys doing out there?
BigAL Bettor. There he is, the man, the myth, the legend. How are we feeling today?
Hey, man, I feel like we're gonna make some money this year with some of these futures bets, and I've got a couple good ones percolating in the old coffee pot right now.
Nice, I like that. Like the sounds of that. We got that hopefully on just a low simmer. You don't want it to be too hot when you take a sip of that coffee, but
No, no,
some people like it that way. I am not one of those people. But
right.
our last video, we talked about division winners. We talked about Super Bowl matchups. We talked about Super Bowl winners just outright. Today, we're going to jump into awards. We're going to talk about MVP. We're going to talk about Offensive Rookie of the Year, Defensive Player of the Year, all that kind of stuff. All the awards that people actually care about. And, we sit around. I always have myself a nice little dinner when I'm watching, the ceremony for all the awards, stuff like that. Kind of make a
Sure.
moment out of it, even though I didn't really play in the league. But it's still nice to feel like you're there and, you're with everybody else. Like, hey, I had that guy in fantasy. He led me. I want to watch him get his MVP. So, without further ado, you want to jump
You were
into
there
this?
for the journey. You were
Yeah,
there for the journey.
exactly.
When
Hey,
he's getting the award, you're like, hey, yeah, actually, I'm part of this award because you carried my team to a championship fantasy.
and you carried my, my checkbook and my wallet to a nice
Right,
victory, hopefully too.
right.
So
Matt,
it was a long season for me too, not just for you. So I didn't get hit as many times,
exactly.
but just in a different way, I guess. So
Correct,
all right, so we're
correct.
gonna start out here. Just the most important award, the MVP, most valuable award,
MVP.
most
Yes,
valuable
yes,
player.
sir.
Who you got here, Al?
Okay, so I've got.
Who do you like here
I
at
picked.
least? Yeah,
So I'm gonna be placing four.
you're placing 4. Okay,
Yeah,
so
I'm
guys,
placing
get ready
four.
for this. Big Al over here, he's got a freaking ledger. He's got a big, bulletin board up in his room, and he's just like, oh, you know what? We got 4 of these. We got 4 of these. Like, you guys remember from the last video, he's like,
I should
oh, I got
move.
3. I got 4. Like,
I should move the dry erase board I've got in front of the door so you can see all my
there you go. Yeah, the big, catalog
my
of picks that
research,
he
all my
has.
research right behind. That'd be kind of funny. Anyway, so I got 4 picks for MVP that I really like. So I like Jalen Hurts at plus 1200 on DraftKings right now. I think he's gonna have a huge year. I think the Eagles have the potential to be the 1 seed. I think adding Saquon was huge, and I just think that he's gonna have a massive year. I like Jordan Love at plus 1400.
Okay.
I love Aaron Rodgers at plus 1800 because if you guys watched our predictions videos and you watched our schedule breakdowns, we think the Jets are going to have an incredible season. And then I like Joey Burr at plus 950. He's the lowest odds on that of those 4 that I like. Uh,
Okay.
the Aaron Rodgers one I think has a great chance of hitting. And if the Eagles are as good as I think they're going to be, Jalen's going to be in the running for it.
Okay. I like those a lot. So just to let everybody at home know, we are using 2 different sports books, so you will hear us, talk about odds, and you'll hear, back and forth sometimes. So like right here, I'm going to tell you that if you go on to FanDuel, if you like the Aaron Rodgers to win, is what 4th MVP, I think.
It would be his 5th MVP.
5th MVP. If you like Aaron Rodgers on that, yeah, DraftKings has him at 1,800, but over here on FanDuel, you can get him for 2,000. So you get a little
Oh,
extra
even better.
200 point boost in that direction, in the
Perfect.
right
And that's
direction that
why
we want.
that's why you should always shop multiple books.
Always have
If
a
you're in a
couple
state
books in your
where you can
pocket.
bet online, have all the books and shop the lines because you can find value.
And there's also a nice boost that a lot of these places are doing now to get more, get more users
Oh,
and stuff like
absolutely,
that. So,
absolutely.
you can get really nice boosts and, free bets, money back bets, stuff like that. No sweat bets is what they like to call it. But I'm going to go here with mine. I'm going to go different route a little bit. I'm going to go
Okay.
kind of dark horsey. I do like to do that. I like my money to pay off. So if I am right, I want it to be big reward, big bang for my buck. So
Potential.
I'm taking Jared Goff right here, plus 2,500. I
Ooh,
like that a lot. I think if the Lions have a
Jared.
similar year how it was last year. So the only thing I don't like about Jared Goff and a couple of the picks that I'm going to make here is they're not running quarterbacks. So
Okay.
I think Jared Goff's great with the ball. It's a lot similar like how you said with Rodgers, where they're not great at running the football. They don't get a ton of running yards, rushing yards, but they do
Sure.
lead their team to victory. They're usually the reason that their team wins, and they usually post really nice stat lines. Like Rodgers, 300 yards,
Right.
4 touchdowns. Like Jared Goff can do the same thing. So I like him for plus
Sure.
2,500. And then I'm also going to go, like a lot of people are probably like, oh, he's probably taking Anthony Richardson because he's a Colts fan. I'm actually not going to. I have a different award that I'm going to be giving to him. If you can't, if you know, write it
Sure.
down in the comments
Right.
right now.
If you know, you know.
If
Right.
you know, you know. Yeah. And then, see, this one's tough too. But I'm going to go with Kyler Murray to get it. Coming back,
Kyler Murray.
I'm going to go the opposite of what I just said about Jared Goff. The rushing ability, I'm going to take Kyler Murray. He's a plus 5,000. A lot of people are
Okay.
talking about the Cardinals right now, about how, they could be really good just because Kyler didn't even really play last year. So kind of got a whole year off. Hopefully comes back rested. The Cardinals make a push, midway through the season and start playing lights out. I think he has a decent chance of getting it just because of the rushing upside.
Sure.
Mm-hmm.
And you want to throw in a third?
I'm going to throw in a third, and
okay.
I think this one's just kind of people are gonna think I'm kind of dumb for this, but I like Tyreek Hill. I'm going Tyreek Hill plus 10,000.
Tyreek Hill.
I think it's about time that somebody other than a quarterback won the award.
Well, he would have broken the record if he hadn't gotten hurt.
Very true, and I don't know
and
if that 2,000 is.
He would have had a chance to have it.
I don't know if that 2,000 gets you there. That's my only thing.
Well, I think he's going to be, if he plays this whole season and Tua is halfway as good as he was last year, Tyreek's going to be knocking on the door.
I think this will be the year that we could see. I'm not going to say will, but I think that we could see like a Tyreek Hill or Christian McCaffrey or somebody along those lines win it as opposed to a quarterback. And I really hope that we do, because I'm tired of the award just being a quarterback award. But
okay.
But yeah, those are my picks.
All right, let's move. I don't hate that. Jared Goff, Kyler Murray, Tyreek Hill, and I got Jalen Hurts, Jordan Love, Aaron Rodgers, and Joey Burrow.
And I'm also always for, if you put a unit on each of those and you have 3 units there, throw a 4th unit on there and maybe take the favorite or the second favorite. Take somebody like that kind of just to hedge your bet. Like if you don't like making bets like that, but you want to take my advice, that's what I would do just in case, the front runner does win it. Then you can kind of just like, boom, cash in your money and you didn't lose anything.
Mahomes?
Yeah, of course it is.
For 450?
Yeah, plus 450, and then Josh Allen is number 2 with plus 800. So.
Interesting. Okay. All right, moving on. Let's head over to Offensive Rookie of the Year. This is a fun little category.
This one's easy, but I also hate this award as well. Let me just start off on this one. I do not like this award either because this award normally goes to a quarterback. It's pretty much MVP for a rookie because they don't ever hand out MVP to a rookie. So it's pretty much the same thing, which I don't like, and I am still going to be in the minority here, and I'm going to give it to somebody else who's not a quarterback. I'm going Marvin Harrison Jr. for the Cardinals. I'm going at plus 650. I think he has a chance to actually keep up with somebody like a Tyreek Hill. Maybe not as much because I don't think the offense is going to be as high-firing, but, I mean, who else do they have on that team that they're going to throw to in Arizona? So I like Marvin Harrison for, like, whatever his line set at for yards this year, I'd like the over. I'd have to go and look at it, but I do like that a lot.
That's a sneaky futures bet, too, for you guys. That one was free, too. Is that all you got?
That's all I got. I'm just doing one. I'm not doing anybody else. I don't like anybody else on this list.
I've got 2.
Here we go.
You're gonna like one of them because you're pretty high on this person.
Yep.
I got Jaden Daniels at plus 500.
Yep, love that. On FanDuel, he's plus 600.
On DraftKings, he's plus 500.
Okay.
So better odds, FanDuel.
Yep.
And then I like, and this one's just a flyer just in case he is everything that we think he could potentially be. I like Xavier Worthy splashing in there at plus 2,200 on DraftKings.
Okay, that's way better than I get. I only get plus 1,900, so definitely DraftKings for that one.
Because they're saying he's Mr. Speed. We know Mahomes can huck the rock. So if Mahomes has a career year and Xavier Worthy's catching touchdowns, I think he's going to win it. Especially if Caleb Williams isn't everything we've been advertised that he is.
True, because if Caleb Williams is the part that he looks, then he will win this award hands down just because of all the hype that's behind him and the Bears. All that they really have to do, I think, for him to get this award is make the playoffs. He doesn't even have to play necessarily good. If they make the playoffs, he's getting it. Signed, sealed, delivered. Which I don't like because it's only plus 120.
Yeah, but we'll see. I'm excited to see what this Bears looks like. I feel like I've spent so much time bashing them. I don't even want to keep doing that because it's like we're going to find it out in a couple weeks. And I'm either going to be wrong or I'm going to be super right.
Yeah, we'll see how week 1 goes. I mean, we got 4 days. 4 days till Sunday, and that's when he's going to be playing. So,
oh man, it's so exciting! It's awesome. We love football.
It is. We do.
Anyway, moving on. Defensive Rookie of the Year.
Yeah, Defensive Rookie of the Year. All right.
What are you thinking here? I've got Dallas Turner at plus 450.
Okay.
And it's the only pick I have, but he's a linebacker that played for Alabama.
Okay. You're doing a linebacker. Okay. Interesting.
Yeah.
I have 2 here.
Okay.
which is surprising because normally you have way more than I do. So I'm actually kind of
Right.
happy that I have 2. I'm going with the favorite here, Latu. He actually
Who does he
wasn't.
play for?
He plays for the Indianapolis Colts. But hear me
Oh,
out here,
interesting.
okay? He was supposed to be a bench player. He's supposed to be coming off the bench. The person he was
Okay.
supposed to come in off the bench for is going to be out the whole season.
So now he's the starter.
So now Latu will be an official starter. He's already been called a starter, everything like that. He will be starting the year, be out there every down. I think he's going to be able to potentially break some records. I don't know. The records for sacks in a season are really high,
Yeah.
but I mean the Watt brothers kind of took care of that.
Isn't
But
it 21?
I want to say it's something, or it might only be 18 for a rookie. But yeah,
Okay.
it's going to be tough for him to do. But I do like him. Then also another lineman that I like is Byron Murphy with Seattle. He looked really good coming out of college.
I thought about throwing down Byron Murphy, but I just couldn't
Yeah.
pull the trigger.
I mean, you're getting the favorite with Latu. You're getting him at plus 400. And then Byron Murphy, if you really like him, which I do, is plus 1400, which I'll take those odds any day for a guy that I think has a really strong chance to get it.
I don't know how on DraftKings Dallas Turner was second behind Latu.
Yep,
Is that
and
accurate on
it's
FanDuel?
accurate here too, plus 440. And Latu is 400, so pretty similar.
Okay.
Yeah, they're pretty much one A and 1B. So
solid picks there.
Yeah.
Solid picks there. All right, let's keep her moving. We're gonna go to Offensive Player of the Year.
Offensive Player of the Year,
which is what is also known as like you would have been MVP if we didn't have quarterbacks in this league award.
Yep, exactly. And I have 2 here.
Okay, I have 3, but go ahead.
Okay, cool. So I'm going 1. Okay, I actually might have 3 here. I'm gonna go 3 here actually.
That's fine.
I'm going with Justin Jefferson.
JJ.
Good old JJ. He's at plus 1200, which I think is
with
just
a new
crazy.
quarterback.
New quarterback, which is if the Vikings play good, if the quarterback looks decent, he's gonna have a great year because he can make quarterbacks look good. We saw that with Kirk Cousins, especially if Kirk Cousins sucks this year. Then it's gonna be like, okay, Kirk Cousins has all the weapons, but doesn't have Justin Jefferson and has a terrible year. And I mean, Vikings don't even really necessarily have to make the playoffs. Justin Jefferson can still break records. And as long as he's right there with Tyreek Hill, maybe Jefferson's the one that breaks 2,000 this year. I don't know. But I do like that a lot for plus 1,200. We've seen the talent. We know that he's a dog. So that's my first one. Second one, we're going Jonathan Taylor here. Okay? Everybody's worried about, we're going JT, Indianapolis Colts running back. He doesn't have any competition in the backfield, which means he's going to be out on the field probably like 80% of the time. And which is crazy for a running back. And as long as he stays healthy, obviously injuries we're not talking about today. If he stays healthy, he's going to be a killer and he's going to be a dog. I mean, we saw Richardson get hurt last year. Everybody thinks that Richardson is going to take a lot of the running away from Taylor. I don't necessarily think so, and I am a Colts fan, so you can kind of listen to me a little bit on this. I think Richardson will still run the ball, but I don't think it's going to happen as often. And if we're on the 4-yard line or the 5-yard line, we're not taking the chance that Richardson gets hurt. Give the ball to Jonathan Taylor. 2 years ago, led the league. Or 3 years ago, actually. 3 years ago, led the league in rushing. Just give the ball to Jonathan Taylor. He'll take it into the end zone. So I could see him breaking either touchdown records or even just being a leading rusher in the league. So there's that one for you. And then I also have one, if I can find him down here. He is low. And I got Cooper Kupp. We saw what Cooper Kupp can do.
I don't hate it. I don't hate it.
We saw what Cooper Kupp can do.
I don't have him on mine.
3 years ago. 3 years ago, Triple Crown leader. Receptions, touchdowns, yards. Why can't he do it again? Last year he was hurt. The year before he was hurt and Stafford was hurt. This is going to be the only year, off-season, season included, that he's actually coming into the season healthy. And the last time he did that, Triple Crown leader.
And this time he's got a threat in Puka Nacua on the other side of the field that defenses have to worry about. So maybe he doesn't get as shadowed, as covered as he has in prior seasons.
Exactly, and I think it's disrespectful to have him
this
low
little pick.
at plus 7,500.
75. I might have to freaking.
It's plus 7,500, and I think it's absurd.
I kind of like that one, honestly.
I think it's absurd.
That's deep down there. Puka Nacua is higher.
Yes, Puka Nacua. Kyron Williams is higher.
Well, Kyron's a dog.
Puka Nacua is at plus 2,200.
See, but that's like
Kyron's
that's
at plus
the media
6,000
and just everything.
Yeah,
so.
I'm gonna throw out one more name here before you jump into yours. They have Stephon Diggs higher than Cooper Kupp.
That kind of makes sense though, because if you think about the narrative of this offseason, the Houston Texans are like the hot new toy.
That's
like
fair.
They're everybody's favorite team all of a sudden because C.J. Stroud had one good year. It's like, okay, hey, no, great year, props to you.
Yeah.
But like, can we do it again?
Okay. Yeah. All right. Your turn.
We do it
You can
again.
jump into yours. I didn't want to take up that much
Okay,
time, but
I've got three. I've got three. So I got Saquon Barkley
Okay.
at plus 2,200 on DraftKings.
Yep.
I think he's gonna have his. I think he's gonna have a career year because he's never played with an offense that has as many weapons as Philly,
Yep. Fair enough. Or an
and
O line is
also,
good.
and the defense has to respect a running quarterback, and he's always just played with pocket passers, basically.
Mhm.
I
Yeah.
guess I
What?
mean Daniel Jones scrambles a lot, but he's not. Nobody fears
Yeah.
Daniel
What?
Jones.
What? What'd you say the odds were on that?
Plus 2,200.
Yeah. You're not betting there. You're gonna go to FanDuel and get plus 3,000.
I would do that absolutely.
Plus an
Then
800.
second, this is based on. I'm taking Garrett Wilson at plus 3,000
Okay, that's better than mine. I'm
on
like plus
DraftKings.
25.
And the reason I'm taking that is because we've talked about how easy the Jets' schedule looks compared to some of the other teams.
Yep.
And if Rodgers has a 4,000 yard and is in the running for MVP, Garrett Wilson's going to be on the receiving end of a lot of touchdowns and a lot of yards. And then my final one, you're going to like this one, Matt.
Here
I
we
took
go.
CD Lamb at plus 1,000.
CD Lamb, tried and true, baby. Plus 1,100 for me, but yeah, I do like that pick a lot with CD Lamb.
Dallas is supposed to be good. They've been good, 12-5 the last two seasons. Dak's on a contract year. CD just got paid. Mike McCarthy's on his way out if they don't win. So if they are even close to as good as they were last year, he's going to have a career year too, probably. So
Mhm.
I like those are my three picks for offensive player of the year.
I will
I feel
say
good
one
about
of the
all.
things that I do like about all these picks that we've been making, and just like the awards in general, is let's just say that you make 6 or 7 of them.
Sure.
As long as you get one right, you're making money. Like you're
Correct.
printing money as long as you just get one right. So don't go overboard and
Correct.
don't do like 15 or 20 unless that's how you bet. I don't want to tell you how to bet, but I'm just saying
Right.
if you're doing something smart, and you want to throw like 3 or 4, take all of our picks, whatever. Like you can take all 6, and if one of them hits, boom, you made money. So because you
Right.
got plus 750 is Tyreek Hill. So if you're making 7 bets, you're still making half a unit back. So
Right.
just something to keep in mind.
Absolutely.
Mhm.
Absolutely. Absolutely. All right, moving on to defensive player of the year.
Defensive player of the year. How many do you have here?
I've got 3.
You got 3 for defensive player of the year. Lord. I guess
Well,
I'll add
2 are
it.
crazy good odds. 2 are crazy
I'll
good
add
odds.
another one, but I was just gonna go with 1. But I'll throw in 2.
Okay.
Go ahead. You got 3. You
All
can
right.
start.
Okay, so I've got. I'll just start it off with. I've got the favorite, T.J. Watt.
He's not the favorite, but yeah.
He was the favorite on my book.
Oh yeah, he's not.
On
Micah
fan.
Parsons, Miles Garrett, Max Crosby, and then TJ.
All beat him out. What's
Yeah.
the odds?
Plus 850 for TJ.
Okay, that's way better. DraftKings has him at plus 550.
Yeah, so you get plus 850 for him
So
and
you would
Crosby.
definitely go to. Okay, this is funny because in the other video, like
Yeah.
for the divisions, DraftKings had way better numbers, and for the individual players, FanDuel's kind of been kicking it.
Yes.
So okay, so I've got T.J. Watt just because we all know what T.J. Watt is. Then I've got Montez Sweat, second year with the Bears. I guess first full season with the Bears.
Yeah.
He's at plus 3,000.
Plus 5,000. So for these futures, you
Okay.
want to use FanDuel, by the way, guys, for the most
Right,
part.
right. And then this one's my flyer. It's Rashawn Gary for the Packers. He led the team in sacks last year. Coming up on a contract, so he should have a huge year. And the new defensive coordinator. We have the Packers have 6. They kept 6 edge rushers, and Rashawn Gary is one of them. So I think they're going to try to keep him fresh and rotate through, and they're just trying to get after the passer. So he could have just a massive year, and he's plus 5,000.
Yep. He's 5,000 here
So
too. So him and Montez Sweat
those
are
are
the
my
same.
3 picks. So that one's like the flyer. It's the reach. But if he has a huge year and if the Packers defense is finally good, then that could cash.
Yeah. Okay. I'm gonna go with one here. This is like my favorite out of all of these guys. I
Okay.
think Max Crosby's had his years. I think same with Miles Garrett. Same with Micah Parsons. Micah Parsons, if he he could win it, yeah, but I don't like any of these first 5 guys that they have on here. I like the 6th guy, and I'm going with Aiden Hutchinson for the Detroit Lions. Last year was kind of he got off to a slow start. So as long as he can get off to a quick start this year, he has a chance to be in the running for the sack leader, which is all he needs.
This
And
is-
a couple interceptions. What?
This is his 3rd year.
I believe so. I don't think he's gotten a contract yet, so it would make sense if it's his 3rd.
Well, because he was either a rookie last year or 2 years ago.
It wasn't last year
wanna say it
because
was 2
we
years.
knew about
Okay.
him last year. Yeah.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah, so this is probably most likely his 3rd year. So it's contract year technically if they want to pay him a little early, I think. But
Sure.
yeah, he's sitting there at plus 1,400. He's the 6th guy off the board. And then let's scroll down a little bit. Let's get a little risky
Yeah,
with it.
a little deeper into the old.
I like it a lot, and this one might shock some people, but we've seen him do it before, and he's on a new team now. I like Matthew Judon.
Matthew Judon. I don't hate Judon, dude.
He's for the Atlanta Falcons, new team. They did not give him a new contract.
So they're just saying, prove it to us, and then we'll pay you if you're really good.
No, they asked him if he wanted a new contract when they traded for him.
Okay.
And he said, no, I still have a year. Let me prove it to you.
Ooh, okay.
And I'm like, okay, this guy's a dog. He's like, yeah, I'm going to trust myself. I'm going to believe in myself, and you're going to make me the highest paid, defensive player in the league. So I think this is a prove it year for him. He's proven it to himself. He's proven it to the team. They don't even want him to prove it. They were like, hey, we'll already pay you. And he's like, no, let me prove it to you so I can get the biggest bag known to man. So, yeah, I like him. He's plus 10,000.
Plus 10,000?
Plus 10,000. We've seen him do it before. We've seen him be a game wrecker in New England for how long? Like, we know what he's capable of.
3 or 4 years he was there. I mean, he wears the red sleeves. Like,
yep.
No, I love Judon. He plays with an intensity that's insane.
And I like the fact that he's on the Falcons, and we've already talked about the Falcons' schedule. It's not terribly hard. So they get a couple softballs in there where maybe he gets 3, maybe even 4 sacks in a game. So those are the two that I like for defensive player of the year.
And Judon's plus 10,000.
Plus 10 grand.
Okay, well, there you have it, ladies and gentlemen. Also, I went through the defensive player of the years, like the last 5 years. 2 of them went to T.J. Watt. He's a linebacker. All the rest went to pass rushers. So as far as not throwing a safety or a corner in, that would be the reason why.
Yeah, exactly. We almost had to.
We've all stuck with pass rushers, and then I threw Watt in.
We almost saw that one year, but that guy was a rookie and won off defensive rookie of the year. The guy for was it Diggs for Cowboys?
Yeah.
Tied the record for pick sixes. Yeah.
Yep. Yep. Absolutely. Okay, Matt, you want to jump to coach of the year or comeback player of the year?
See, that's a tough one. Let's start with coach of the year here.
Coach of the year. Okay. Do you want to go first? Or do you want me to go first?
You can go first on this one.
Okay, so I've got Mike Macdonald at plus 1,000, the new coach for the Seattle Seahawks. I think if Seattle has a decent year, if they have a winning record, even if they miss the playoffs, if they have a winning record, he's definitely going to be in the running for it. If they make the playoffs, he's almost a lock for it, in my opinion. So I've got Mike Macdonald at plus 1,000. Then I have Shane Steichen at plus 1,500. I think last year he was in the running for it, but the Browns coach got it for obvious reasons. I think if the Browns hadn't had as good of a year they had with all the struggles they had, Shane Steichen might have gotten it. So with what he did without Anthony Richardson. So full year, if Anthony Richardson stays healthy and that team is as good as I think they're going to be, and I know you think they're going to be.
Yeah.
I think Shane Steichen, if they make the playoffs and they take that division, I think Shane Steichen's getting coach of the year.
Yes, definitely. I would
and
be surprised
then
if he
I'm going to throw in somebody that I don't believe he's ever gotten it. I didn't fact check it, should have. Matt LaFleur for the Green Bay Packers at plus 1,200.
Okay.
I don't think he's ever gotten it because last year we were positive record with a new quarterback, but it wasn't like flashy. And all the other years he had Aaron Rodgers, so nobody ever gives him any credit. So I'm throwing in Matt LaFleur because I think if we take that division, even though the Lions are favored, then that's similar to a Shane Steichen type of situation, except for LaFleur's, he's been doing it for 5-6 years.
But it'll actually be like his year. They'll be like, okay, it wasn't just Rodgers.
And it's his offense, it's his team, it's all correct.
All the pieces are his. Yeah. I am going to go with one of the favorites here.
Okay.
I'm going with Matt Eberflus.
Eberflus, if the Bears are good.
Yep, if the Bears are good, they make the playoffs. Caleb Williams, everything we think he is, then this team might get 2 awards. And it'll be Offensive Rookie of the Year. He's not winning MVP. Caleb Williams isn't. But he get Offensive Rookie of the Year for sure. And then Matt Eberflus gets Coach of the Year. So I like that. It's plus 1,000. It's like, okay, cool. Yeah, tell me something else, Matt. Tell me something that I can actually use to the book and take to the book. I'm going to second down on Allen's second pick, and that'd be Shane Steichen with the Colts. The Colts literally have a really good shot of winning their division this year. We literally saw them be, 15, 16 yards away from making the playoffs last year and winning their division.
People forget that.
Exactly, and people also forget nobody seems to forget the fact that Gardner Minshew was our quarterback, though. But nobody ever gives Steichen credit for literally taking Gardner Minshew and the Colts to almost beating the Texans for the division and making it to the playoffs. So I like those two, and then I also like another one down here. This one's a little bit of a reach, but I like Sean McDermott for the Buffalo Bills. They got rid of Stephon Diggs in the offseason. All they need to do is win their division. If they win the division, I think he wins it because a lot of people, there's been a lot of talk about Stephon Diggs, like he made Josh Allen, and they also got rid of a lot of defensive players too. They got rid of their two best defensive players.
Micah Hyde, Jordan Poyer.
Exactly. You get rid of them.
And Matt Milano's starting the year injured, so.
Yeah, so with all of that going against him, you literally give Sean McDermott back against the wall, see what happens. They still win their division. Josh Allen still looks great. Defense, if the defense looks good, he's going to get all the credit in the world. He'll win that, and I'm getting him for plus 5,000.
5,000? That's insane.
Yep.
I didn't reach that hard on any
I mean, he's down there. Like, he's the bottom, seven. Bottom 7th.
Right.
But, I mean, it's crazy that Sean McDermott's right there, and then literally right in front of him, so at plus 4,000 is Brian Daboll with the Giants. And I don't know about you guys, but I ain't putting my money in that horse.
I mean, if the Giants make the playoffs, he probably gets that.
Yeah, but they're not going to, so.
Because they're expected to just suck.
We can move on to comeback player of the year, though. Who you got here?
Okay, comeback player of the year.
How many do you have?
3.
You have 3? Okay. I think we're going to have the same 3, but.
The trifecta. Maybe. Okay. No, this first one, which is the longest odds one, we definitely do not.
Oh, okay.
I have Deshaun Watson at plus 4,000.
Whoa. Deshaun Watson is definitely not the longest, by the way. Just letting you know. But go ahead. Continue.
I didn't say the longest. I said it'd be the longest of the ones we have.
Okay.
Like between you and me is what I was
meaning. Yes, that's fair.
On the book.
Okay.
Then I have Anthony Richardson at plus 700.
Okay.
And I feel pretty good. If he has a good year, I feel good about it. And then I have the favorite. This is the second time I've taken a favorite in this video. Aaron Rodgers plus 140.
Yep. Aaron Rodgers is nice there. We get him for plus 175. Richardson we get for plus 750, and Watson we get for plus 4,500.
Okay. Yeah, so a little better odds there on FanDuel.
A little better odds
over
here on
around,
FanDuel.
People.
Yep. I already said this in the last, or that was this video, wasn't it? Yeah, I think it was this video, yeah. Earlier in the video I said Kyler Murray. I mentioned Kyler Murray at some point.
You said Kyler for MVP.
Yeah, exactly. I like him here too for comeback player of the year.
Okay, what's his odds?
If he doesn't win MVP, I could see him getting comeback player of the year plus 2,500.
That's pretty darn good. Okay.
It's pretty good for that one. And then the other one that I actually feel really good about, and you get really good odds on, it's plus 4,500, and that's Tank Dell with the Texans. He did really good before he got injured. He was the number 1 receiver on that team. And then him and Deshaun apparently have a great connection. So if that's the case, Tank Dell's the guy.
You mean
CJ? CJ. Yeah. I'm so used to Deshaun. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Old rivalries, they take a while to die. Yeah, I like Tank Dell, and I'm getting plus 4,500 on him. And then also, I'm seeing this right now. I didn't know this was actually a thing, but Matthew Judon's right there. Below that, plus 8,000. I talked about him earlier in this video, too. So I'm just saying, a little flyer, plus 8,000, 80 times your...
Are you going to throw him in there?
I'll throw him in there. Okay. Plus 8,000. I don't like throwing him in another bet that I had, but, I mean, if he has a great year and he doesn't win Defensive Player of the Year, I could see him winning Comeback Player of the Year for sure.
Okay.
That's always the consolation prize, so...
Sure. Sure. Okay, moving on. We're going to go into the leaders of the different stats. So we're going to start with passing leader, who's going to lead the league in passing yards.
All right. You're just doing one pick?
I have 3.
Oh, Lord. All right, guys. Stay tuned for a 45-minute video.
No, the thing is, when you're getting this good of odds, it's like if you throw 3 units and you're going to get back, like one of these is plus 1,600. It's like... As long as you get one right, you're getting your money back.
Well, let's jump into it. Passing yards.
Why I made a couple. I think I have 3 in most of these categories, by the way, going forward. So, just so you know. Okay, so passing leaders. Do you have yours pulled up? Or?
Yeah, I got mine here. I'll start it off. We got Josh Allen here.
Josh Allen.
Josh Allen's my first guy, plus 1,600. We've seen him do it before. We can see him do it again. Like, Josh Allen, we know the talent's there in his arm and his ability to throw.
What are the odds?
Plus 16.
1,600. Okay.
Yep, and then I also like, I've talked about Jared Goff before too. I like Jared Goff at plus 1,000, then Tua's right there also at plus 1,000. It's 10 times your money on any of those. I feel comfortable throwing my 3 picks on those guys. It's Goff, Tua. Yep. Goff, Tua, and then Josh Allen. Yep, passing leaders. Okay. You heard it here first.
I have Jordan Love at plus 1,600. I have Matt Stafford at plus 1,400. And then, would it surprise you to know, I have also Tua at plus 800.
Nice. Okay, so you're getting a little bit better odds on Tua. What'd you say it was for Jordan?
Jordan's 1,600.
We get him for 1,700, but the surprising one here is Stafford.
Well, I'm high on the Rams this season. And with Puka and Cooper, I think that creates a lot of problems for offenses, or defenses rather. And we know Kyron can catch it out of the backfield on screen
Yeah.
passes and whatnot, and that all adds up to passing yards.
I
So,
wasn't saying
uh,
your pick was crazy. I was saying the odds difference on FanDuel is crazy. Because
tell me,
what'd you say Stafford was?
1,400.
Yeah, he's favorited over Jordan Love. It's opposite here. Stafford's at plus 21.
Ooh, I would definitely hammer that
Yeah,
one
switch over to FanDuel if you guys can. For the futures bets, it seems like FanDuel just got it for the awards and the leaders.
for the awards and the
hmm
leaders for sure. So
Yeah,
far,
okay.
it's been that way.
Yeah.
All right, let's move on to passing touchdowns.
All right, most regular season passing touchdowns for this season.
So if you guys don't know,
See,
that's a quarterback award.
yeah, it's a quarterback award only. I'm going to kind of stick with what I've been doing, and I'm going to go Jared Goff here. Plus
Okay,
1,500. I like him a
so you're
lot.
copying.
I'm just gonna copy and paste. I mean, normally that's how it goes. If you lead the league in yards, unless you're Tua, you can lead the league in yards and not touchdowns. So that's also why I'm leaving Tua off of these picks right here, because Tua has actually led the
They
league
run
in
it in.
yards before and not
Right.
led the league in touchdowns. So I'll take Jared
Correct.
Goff there to lead in yards and touchdowns. If you want to get risky with it,
Okay.
throw them both together. But and
Sure.
I'm also gonna
Yeah.
have Dak Prescott there. He's only plus 900, but I could see him
I was
leading with
shocked you didn't.
touchdowns.
I was shocked you didn't put Dak in the passing yards.
No,
Honestly.
because I don't think Dak's gonna get a ton of yards through the air. More, well,
Okay.
I mean he will have a ton, but I don't think it'll be more than like a Josh Allen, Tua, or a Jared Goff.
He did lead the league in touchdowns last year. So.
Yes, I am well aware of that. I traded him early in my
Okay.
fantasy football league, but we don't have to talk
That's
about
unfortunate. Right. And then your third one?
it. It's just those, just
Oh, just
Jared
those two.
Goff and Dak Prescott. Yep, those are
Okay.
the two that I like
Okay.
there.
I've got 3 for passing touchdowns. I've got Mahomes at plus 650. I believe he's the favorite.
He is, yes, of course he is.
That goes into my Xavier Worthy pick from earlier. I think if that offense can be explosive, Mahomes is going to be way up there. And we've seen him throw 50 in a season too, so we know he's capable. I've got Rodgers at plus 1,600. 1, because I like Rodgers. 2, we've talked about the schedule at this point.
Yes, and
So much.
yeah, ad nauseum a
They
little
should be
bit,
able to
but
just murder people. So
Mhm.
I could see him leading. And Garrett Wilson's a stud. And then
And
I've got Jordan Love at plus 1,600 as well.
okay,
And that's based on the fact that he was second last year behind Dak in touchdowns thrown, and he
Yep.
really didn't really get going until halfway through. So if he starts the season fast, he could do something special.
Yeah, definitely. Jordan Love for me is 200 less, so it's only at 1,400. But Rodgers is sitting at 1,900. So
Okay.
if you guys
so
are using multiple
there-
books and you guys want to take both those bets, like yeah, take Jordan Love over
Shop-
there on
shop around.
DraftKings, and then
Shop
take
around.
Rodgers on FanDuel for sure.
Right.
Mhm.
All right, let's move on to rushing leader.
Rushing leader, most regular season rushing yards for this upcoming season.
Yes, sir.
These
And
are a
then
lot
do
of
you wanna
fun, I
start
gotta
this
say.
one,
Yeah, I'll start this
or
one
you
off.
want me to?
So we're doing
Okay.
rushing yards, okay? We're not doing touchdowns. Touchdowns, in my opinion, like I don't know how you're gonna do yours, but for me, it's gonna be different. It's gonna be pretty different for yards. I like some players for yards. I like other players for touchdowns. So for
Correct.
yards here, okay? I'm gonna go with my boy Jonathan Taylor at plus 850. Right? We already talked about it a little bit earlier.
JT.
Jonathan Taylor should have a really big year, really big bounce back year. It'll be a year that he's actually healthy and playing week 1 and in the off season. So,
Right.
So we're gonna go with Jonathan Taylor, boom, plus 850, and then I really do like Josh Jacobs, Green Bay Packers, plus 1,500. I like him for a lot
Hey,
of yards.
come on now.
I like it for a lot of
I
yards.
like that too.
I don't like mixing that bet with your passing yards bet with Jordan Love, but I do like Josh Jacobs.
Okay.
New scene. He's not in Vegas anymore. Gets a new scenery, all that kind of stuff. I do like Josh Jacobs a lot behind the Packers line, and I mean a lot of people playing the Packers. I feel like they're gonna play him deep because Jordan Love was unleashing the cannon last year, and if that's the case this year, a lot of teams should be playing off the ball. Josh Jacobs should have a lot of wide open running lanes.
And correct me if I'm wrong. Was
I
it
probably
2
won't
years
know
ago
this,
that Josh Jacobs led the league in rushing?
but it was in fact yes. It was Derek
With
Carr's
the
last year
Raiders,
there.
with the Raiders team that had Derek Carr,
Yep.
and the first year with Devontae,
Yep.
and then Derek Carr got benched in the middle of it,
hmm
and Josh Jacobs led the league. So I would argue, and I think I'm right, Green Bay has a better O-line than the Raiders do. And that offense is more prolific, and
Yep.
that quarterback's much better.
It's the
So,
threat
and
of
you have a better play
being
caller. You have a
burned.
better play caller as well. So
Yep.
he could definitely. I love that pick. What'd you say the odds are on that?
On Josh Jacobs, plus 1,500.
That feels like a.
It's a lot.
I might have to add that to mine.
hmm
That's crazy. Okay, so I got 3. Like I said,
Yep. 3 and everything.
I've got Saquon at plus 650. I think
Okay.
he's pretty close to the top.
1100 on FanDuel.
That's
So
go to
like we've been
FanDuel.
saying, go to FanDuel. Just go to FanDuel. Like
Go
even
to
if you're only getting
FanDuel for
minus
these ones.
100, if you're only using one book,
That's
make
almost
sure it's
double,
FanDuel.
Matt.
Like we're not even sponsored by FanDuel. I'm just
Yeah,
saying like
we're not sponsored by any sportsbook. That's almost double the odds.
yeah, exactly. 6 to 11.
650 doubled is 13.
Yep.
That's almost double. That's insane. Okay, so I like Saquon because I think the Eagles run the ball a lot, and he's the best running back they've had on their team in the Jalen Hurts era. I like Breece Hall at plus 800 because of the aforementioned Jets and their
Yep.
schedule and Rodgers. And then I'm throwing a flyer. My flyer is Ken Walker for the Seattle Seahawks at plus 3,000.
Okay, that's better. So the reaches seem to be a little bit better. But Kenneth Walker's only plus 27 for me. But I do like that pick a lot.
Because defensive coaches tend to want to run the ball more, especially when they get a lead. Because they're like, let's just protect the lead. And so I could see him having a massive year, especially with a new OC. And that offense is good. So
yeah, I also
and
do
he had
like
a good year. Ken Walker had a good year last year too.
right below him, also on the books, is James Cook. He's right after him, and James Cook could have a big year if the Bills don't throw the ball as much. Just because you look at the dual threat with Josh Allen, it makes teams have to play a little bit deep.
Sets.
Yeah, exactly, and then you can blitz a little bit more too. So we'll see.
Right.
All right, like I said,
I love those picks. Honestly.
I do too. Like I said, when we're going to rushing touchdowns, it's a little different for me, and I got different players that I like, and the book does too. Like McCaffrey's not the favorite.
That's the same. I have one player that's the same. I've got two separate that are not. So go ahead.
So let's just do this for the sake of argument. For rushing leaders for yards, it goes McCaffrey, Breece Hall, and Bijan. Okay, those are the top three. For touchdowns, it goes Derrick Henry, then Christian McCaffrey, and then Jalen Hurts.
See, I don't believe that. But
yeah, see, I don't believe in Jalen Hurts that much, but
I like Jalen.
I'm going with the favorite here. I'm going with the favorite here. I'm going with Derrick Henry to get the most touchdowns. That's what I'm doing. Derrick Henry, I love what they're doing with the Ravens. I don't think Lamar's going to have a ton on the 1-2 yard line. I think they're just going to be like, hey, make sure Lamar doesn't get hurt. Just give it to Derrick Henry. He's a bulldozer. He's a Mack truck. He's going to be able to get 2 yards.
Absolutely. What did you say the odds were over there?
It's just plus 550 for Derrick Henry. It's not much, but still gives you room to play with if you want to take 4 other people. You can do that, and as long as Derrick Henry wins, you're still making money. So, and then second person I do like for touchdowns here, it's going to be Breece Hall for rushing touchdowns.
Really?
Yeah, I know that they do like obviously Breece Hall is going to get a lot of passing or receiving touchdowns.
Sure.
But I do like Breece Hall, and I think people are underestimating the amount of times they're actually going to run the ball. They're going to run the ball a ton.
The thing even if they don't run it a ton, I think people are also forgetting that Aaron Rodgers is one of the best guys at the line of scrimmage for audibling.
And if he sees something he likes, he's going to audible, and boom, there's Breece Hall. And Breece Hall is the explosiveness that you need to be able to score from 40 yards out. And I think that we're going to see a lot of 40-yarders this year from Breece Hall.
The issue with the Jets forever has been not good quarterbacking. And they have one of the best to ever do it there. And as long as he stays healthy, they're going to win a lot of games. Yep. And you heard it here first. And we when it happens, we'll have called it at the jump, and that's pretty cool. Anyway, do you have a third one, Matt?
I do have a third one. And my third one is the leader from last year. How are you going to give me plus 2,600 on literally the rushing touchdown leader, Raheem Mostert, from last year? What changed? What changed for the Dolphins?
I think they expect, because Achane got hurt.
Okay. And when Achane was there, Mostert was still out carrying him with touches, out rushing him.
Agreed.
Everything. I will say, Mostert didn't. His average wasn't as good. Achane's was higher. It was like it was insane. It was like 6.2 yards a carry. It was insane.
Right.
But Mostert's getting more touches. Mostert's getting more touchdowns. Mostert's getting more yards.
Well,
so I'm taking Mostert.
Mostert got more touches in the red zone.
Yeah, it was the red zone. It's because he's bigger. Achane's not a big dude.
Yep.
So you can take the speed, and you're taking the speed when you're at the 50-yard line. Sure, you're giving it to Achane. Hopefully he can get in the end zone from there. But once you get to that 4-yard line, the Dolphins aren't stupid. They're giving it to Mostert, the veteran running back. Get him in the end zone. Give me Mostert at plus 2,600 to lead the league in rushing touchdowns.
I know one of the reasons too that he may be being overlooked by the books. I believe he's 31 or 32, so he's getting kind of up there in years.
Yeah, so he's 32. Let's just say for the sake of argument, he's 32. He was 31 last year and led the league. That's all I have to say.
I'm with you.
Go ahead.
I'm with you. I really like that pick. I might lay a couple units on that one. I've got 3. I've got McCaffrey at plus 600 on DraftKings.
Yep.
I've got Saquon
Of course, you got to take one in all these, but
at plus 1600.
yep.
And then I'm tailing your Derrick Henry, and on DraftKings it's plus 650.
Okay. Yeah, you get a little bit better with Saquon's plus 2,000, so it's plus 200, but.
Okay.
Mm,
McCaffrey's just too dynamic. We know that. Saquon, you know how I feel about just the Eagles,
mm,
and then Henry's Derrick. I mean, he's the king, and now he's on a team that like actually he used to play with Tannehill, and nobody was scared of Tannehill running.
yeah, exactly.
And now you have to worry about Lamar taking it and running. And Lamar makes people look like I never used to like Lamar. He makes people look like they're not running
Yeah, he makes it
with
look
how
like they're
quick
not
he
even
is. He's
trying.
insanely quick. Like, and TV doesn't really do it justice. You're like, dude, just tackle the guy. It's like he's actually so fast. It's kind of wild.
I will say
Okay.
on that, Derrick Henry's also crazy fast, and you never see
Yes.
it. If you remember watching Derrick Henry, like if you look at highlights or
Yeah.
whatever, he doesn't look that fast.
Yeah.
But he's outrunning linebackers, and the only reason he doesn't look that fast is because he's bigger than the linebackers.
So big.
Mm-hmm.
So big.
So big.
Okay, we're gonna switch over to reception yards leader and
Yep.
then touchdown leader, and then I've got I think we want to talk about a couple people for interceptions, and then that'll be then we'll wrap it up.
All right, sounds good. Let's jump on to receiving yard leaders. I got to go with Tyreek Hill. He is the favorite, plus 600. Pretty cut and dry. Yeah, Tyreek Hill, great offense that he's on, and he's the number one. And he's the fastest, and I would say probably best receiver that we've seen in like the last decade. Like, I'm just saying.
And he was on track to break it until he got hurt last year.
Exactly. So, I mean, just take him to not get injured this year, and I think it's pretty much all his. Second one I'm going with right here, I'm going to go with plus 1,000. Fourth down, I'm going Amon-Ra St. Brown. He actually, I don't know, a lot of people don't know this, he actually was injured last year.
Yeah, he missed a couple games.
No, he was injured the whole year. And literally didn't get surgery until the season was over.
Played hurt is what you're saying.
Played hurt the whole entire year. The guy's a dog. He literally has a list of everybody that was drafted before him in his locker that he looks at before every single game and says, I'm going to beat you today. So, give me Amon-Ra. Give me the Sun God. I'll take him all day. Plus 1,000. That's too easy. And then third, I'm going to go down here. Boom. We already had the Triple Crown leader a couple years ago. We already talked about it. I'm going Cooper Kupp. Plus 3,100.
I don't hate it. Once again, you took him in the other category for Offensive Player of the Year.
Yep.
And I, once again, don't hate it. I didn't even have him on my list.
Yeah.
But I kind of love it.
It's plus 3,100, dude, for Cooper Kupp to do what he did.
Stafford loves Cooper Kupp.
Yep, and people have overshadowed that because
that's
Cooper
his
Kupp
guy. They have a podcast together.
Yeah. Like it's pretty
Nine
cut
and
and dry. Take Cooper Kupp, go home to your wife, and just wait till the season's over and go cash your ticket. Like,
and then let her know, like, I'm a millionaire. Cooper Kupp, thank you.
Yeah.
Anyway,
exactly.
I've got three also. I've got Garrett Wilson at plus 1,400.
Okay.
I've got Tyreek Hill as well at plus 600 for the aforementioned reasons.
Mm-hmm.
And then I took a flyer, and I don't even like it now because he's hurt to start the season. Hollywood Brown at plus 4,000.
Yeah, no, I don't like that either. If you want to change it, we can give you a one-time change on the show if you want to. I can give you some. What was his odds at? I can give you a couple people around there if you want.
Plus 4,000, and I think it might have been at 4,000 because he's hurt.
Okay, you want to switch it out for Devontae?
No.
Devontae's at plus 41.
I don't trust Gardner Minshew to be able to throw to a guy who's going to get 2,000 plus yards.
Well, you could just copy my Cooper Kupp then at plus 31.
I may just
or if you want to, you could take Rashee Rice. If you want to
I don't
stick
trust
with the
Rice.
Chiefs.
I'd take Xavier Worthy before I took Rashee Rice.
Okay, well, Xavier Worthy, I don't even know if he's going to be on this list. Oh, no, he is. Plus 10,000. There we go. You heard it here first. Go bet on Xavier Worthy.
Hey, that's the long shot. Just throw a buck on it. Have a good time.
Yeah, there you go. I like that a lot.
Okay, let's switch on over to reception touchdowns. This should be a fun list. And once again, I don't think I'm really copying my yards guy, kind of like you were with the running backs.
Yeah, it's going to be different. It always is.
Certain guys get open in the red zone and they get the touchdown. Certain dudes get open in the middle of the field and get lots of yards.
And then you also have just the reliable guys that are always in the end zone. The quarterback's always looking for them.
Yep.
So I'm going with my first pick here, Garrett Wilson plus 1,600.
Wow.
Give me Rodgers, give me healthy O-line, good O-line, and give me Garrett Wilson being the tallest receiver on the team and just finding a way to get open. He's bigger than you. Awesome. Just easy 4-yard passes to Garrett Wilson. After the play action to Breece Hall.
Last year when the Jets were on Hard Knocks, Rodgers was talking about Garrett Wilson, how good he is, and he said, when Garrett Wilson's in the red zone, he reminds me a lot of 17, Devontae Adams, with the way he just can get open, and he gets to a spot where I can just get him the ball. He's like, I never feel scared to throw him the ball in the red zone.
Yep.
So I can definitely, I love that pick too.
Yep. So I am doing that as my first pick, and then I'm gonna shock some people here. I'm not taking another receiver. I only got 2 picks here.
Okay.
My second player here. Do it 2 years in a row. Show everybody that they're wrong about you saying that, oh, you had a lucky first year as a rookie. Give me Sam Laporta with the Lions at plus 2,500.
Going tight end, huh?
We're going tight end right there. We're getting, like, if you remember watching last year, I do, because I had him in fantasy, and I was also...
Called it from the jump.
I called it from the jump, and also I was betting on Sam Laporta a lot last year. Every game it was, hey, he's going to score a touchdown. And every time that he scored a touchdown, most of them were literally, they're 10 yards out.
Yep.
And Goff's looking, he's looking over to Amon-Ra, and guess what? Amon-Ra's covered.
And he's like, oh,
throw it to
6'6"
the big guy. Yeah, exactly. Give it to Sam Laporta. I like him to lead the league in touchdowns. I know it's crazy to say for a tight end, but especially a second-year tight end, but I like it a lot.
I believe he had 11 touchdowns last year.
And he should have had more. But
for reference, Mike Evans and Tyreek Hill led the league, and they had 14.
Mm-hmm. And he also had there were a lot of plays where they were on third down in the red zone, and Goff threw it to somebody else, and afterwards, him and Laporta are on the sideline, and he's like tapping Laporta on the back, like, "Hey, sorry, like, yeah, I know." And they show the replay, and guess what? Laporta's wide open, and
then by the end of the season, Goff got it, and then they started. That's why they were winning games.
Yep, exactly.
Okay, I'm gonna jump in. I've got 4. I've got 2 receivers, 2 tight ends. As a preface,
okay.
I tailed your Laporta play. It's plus 3,500 on DraftKings. I don't know if you said the odds for Laporta.
Oh yeah, I said it was 25. I'll take 35 all day.
So, yeah, you get a lot extra value. I'm also going to take Travis Kelce. He had a down year last year. He had 7 touchdowns. So I'm taking him at plus 3,500 also.
Okay, he's at plus 3,000 on mine, so that's better odds there.
To lead the league in touchdowns. And then for the 2 receivers I've got Mike Evans at plus 1,600. Like I just said, he tied Tyreek Hill for the league lead last year. And by my standard, Mike Evans had a quiet year. I don't even really remember him scoring many touchdowns, and that's because the Bucs weren't talked about very much. So I think a second year with Baker, more chemistry, he should easily get. And he just got paid too. He just got a new contract. And then this is my flyer. It's plus 8,000. I've got Romeo Doubs for the Green Bay Packers.
There we go.
Like I said earlier, I think Love's going to have a career year. I think he's going to have a huge year. And Romeo's the guy that gets open the most for him. So I think Romeo's going to have a huge year. And it's plus 8,000.
Mm-hmm. I'm trying to see. I'm pretty sure it's more for you than on mine. But I will say, just to let everybody know for reference here, you said with Mike Evans it was plus 16?
Yes.
It was also plus 16 on FanDuel until just a second ago.
Changed?
The odds changed while we've been recording. And Jamar Chase was not up there, and now he just popped up there, kicked Mike Evans down once. So now Mike Evans is plus 1,900.
Wonder if some news came out about Chase getting signed to a deal.
Nah, I think it was probably just Chase practicing today.
Oh, could be.
Mm-hmm. But I like those picks a lot.
And then last but not least, I have a flyer bet of most interceptions thrown in the league. I'm taking Daniel Jones at plus 3,000. Yep. He threw 2 in one preseason game. One was a pick 6.
Yeah, because then they had the other quarterback come in.
So
the other quarterback
if he can't even throw the ball right in a preseason game against basic defenses, I don't trust him against the terrible schedule they have this year and against real corners and real safeties and linebackers and full board offenses.
I agree with that for sure.
And then, did you have a bet, Matt, on the over/under on interceptions?
No, I will say, just if you guys want to look at it, they have over/unders for interceptions thrown, and they got Aaron Rodgers, who we know does not throw the ball, does not throw interceptions. He's plus money to throw under 6.5 and then 7.5 on DraftKings. So
7.5 on DraftKings.
Do with that what you want, but it's like minus 125, and then it's also like plus money, like it's insane. Like, look into that.
Yeah, I was going to look it up before we started. You guys can do that research. Just look up Aaron Rodgers' interception numbers for like the last 10 years. He averages like 2 or 3 a year. So for these books to have him at 6.5 and 7.5 seems super high. And we get it. He's 40 now, and he missed last season. But when you're accurate, accuracy doesn't really just go away.
Accuracy doesn't go away with age. Look at all the golfers; they get better as they get older.
It feels like a solid bet. So, like I said, I got to deep dive it before I actually lay the money. But that's probably one I'm gonna be potentially laying the money on.
Yep. But other than that, that's our receiving leaders, rushing leaders, passing leaders. We also got all of our
I mean, that's a lot of bets right there.
That's a lot of bets right there, and we got more coming to you guys tomorrow. We're gonna be having, it's week 1. It's the first game.
It's week
It's
1.
Ravens, it's Chiefs, and we're gonna be having a whole video on that. We're gonna be doing picks. We're gonna be doing props. We're gonna be doing spread. We're gonna be doing everything over under. We got it all covered for you
Touchdown
guys.
scores.
Coming out tomorrow morning. Stay tuned, and until then, thanks for joining us, and we'll see you guys tomorrow.
Good luck on all your bets. Let's keep beating the book.
Yes, sir.